Elasmosaurus. Elasmosaurus is one of the most recognizable prehistoric marine reptiles because of its extraordinary neck. Its neck contained 72 vertebrae and made up more than half of its total body length of around 14 meters. This is the animal most people picture when they imagine the Loch Ness Monster. It lived around 80 million years ago in the Western Interior Seaway, a sea that split North America in two during the Cretaceous. Despite its size, it was not a top predator. Its teeth were long and thin, designed for catching fish and squid rather than tackling large prey. It probably fed by sweeping its neck through schools of fish or approaching prey slowly from below. Elasmosaurus became famous in paleontology for a different reason. When Edward Cope first described it in 1868, he mounted the skull on the wrong end, placing it on the tail instead of the neck. His rival Othniel Marsh pointed out the mistake publicly. That dispute escalated into the Bone Wars, one of the most bitter rivalries in the history of science. Mosasaurus. Mosasaurus lived around 70 to 66 million years ago and is the mosasaur most people know by name. It lived right up to the end of the Cretaceous and was among the last of its kind before the asteroid impact ended the non-avian dinosaurs and most large marine reptiles simultaneously. It reached lengths of up to 17 meters. Its jaws had two rows of teeth, one on the main jaw and a second row on the palate, similar to some modern snakes. This gave it an exceptional grip on prey. It could not chew. It swallowed prey in large chunks. Mosasaurus was the first prehistoric animal to be described by science. Its skull was discovered in a limestone quarry in the Netherlands in 1764 and caused significant debate before being identified as a giant marine lizard. Pliosaurus. Pliosaurus lived around 150 million years ago in the seas covering what is now Europe. It is one of the largest pliosaurs in the fossil record, with some estimates putting it at 10 to 13 meters in length. Its skull was massive. A specimen found in Dorset, England measured around 2.4 meters and had teeth up to 30 centimeters long. Bite force estimates based on skull structure suggest it had one of the most powerful bites of any marine animal ever found, comparable to or exceeding that of T-Rex. Fossils show healed bite marks on Pliosaurus bones, meaning individuals survived attacks from others of their own species. It was aggressive enough to fight members of its own kind. Ichthyosaurus. Ichthyosaurus lived from around 200 to 190 million years ago in the seas covering what is now Europe. It looked almost identical to a modern dolphin despite being completely unrelated to one. It reached around 2 meters in length. It had a streamlined body, a crescent-shaped tail fin, a dorsal fin, and large eyes. Those eyes are worth noting. Ichthyosaurs as a group had some of the largest eyes relative to body size of any vertebrate ever found, useful for hunting in low light or deep water. Kronosaurus. Kronosaurus was a pliosaur that lived around 110 million years ago in the seas covering what is now Australia and South America. Part of the short-necked branch of the plesiosaur family, it was built entirely for killing. It reached lengths of up to 10 meters. Its skull alone was around 2.4 meters long. Its teeth were conical and thick, not designed for slicing but for crushing and gripping. Stomach contents found with Kronosaurus remains include bones of other marine reptiles, which confirms it was hunting large prey. It was named after Kronos, the Greek titan who devoured his own children. That name was not chosen casually. Nothosaurus. Nothosaurus lived around 240 to 210 million years ago and was not fully aquatic. It could move on land but was clearly more comfortable in shallow coastal waters, making it an early transitional predator in the Triassic seas. It reached lengths of up to 4 meters in larger species. Its limbs were partially webbed and its body was long and flexible. Its jaws were long and narrow, lined with sharp interlocking teeth designed for catching fish. It probably hunted by lunging through schools of fish with a sideways snap of its jaw. Nothosaurus sits near the base of the plesiosaur family tree. It was not a plesiosaur itself, but it represents the kind of animal that eventually gave rise to them. Shonosaurus. Shonosaurus lived around 215 million years ago, during the Triassic. It is one of the largest ichthyosaurs ever found, reaching lengths of up to 15 meters. Unlike the smaller fish-hunting ichthyosaurs, Shonosaurus had a long toothless snout in adults, suggesting it fed differently, possibly on soft-bodied prey like squid or cephalopods using suction. Its body was deep and barrel-shaped compared to the sleeker forms that came later. A site in Nevada called Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park contains the remains of at least 37 individual Shonisaurus specimens in one location. Why so many died together in the same place is still debated. Liapleurodon. Liapleurodon lived around 160 to 155 million years ago in the seas covering what is now Europe. It was a pliosaur and one of the dominant predators of the Jurassic seas. Estimates of its size have varied widely. A BBC documentary in 1999 depicted it at 25 meters, which drove public interest but was not supported by fossil evidence. Current estimates based on actual specimens put it at around 6 to 7 meters, still a powerful and capable predator, but not the monster it was portrayed as. Its four flippers gave it strong maneuverability underwater. Its jaws were lined with large conical teeth. It almost certainly hunted other marine reptiles, large fish, and anything else it could catch. Its nostrils were positioned in a way that may have allowed it to detect the direction of scents underwater, similar to how sharks use smell to locate prey. Tylosaurus. Tylosaurus was one of the largest mosasaurs ever found, reaching lengths of up to 14 meters. They were large aquatic lizards, closely related to modern monitor lizards, that took to the sea during the Cretaceous and rapidly became apex predators. Tylosaurus was at the top of that group. Its snout was elongated and blunt at the tip, which may have been used to ram and stun prey before biting. Stomach contents found with Tylosaurus specimens include fish, sharks, smaller mosasaurs, flightless diving birds, and plesiosaurs. Living around 85 to 80 million years ago, it ate almost everything in its environment. Xiphactinus. Xiphactinus was one of the most aggressive and distinctive predators in the Cretaceous seas, reaching lengths of up to 6 meters, making it one of the largest bony dinosaur fish ever to exist. It had an upturned jaw lined with large fang-like teeth and a powerful body built for fast pursuit. It hunted other large fish in open water. One of the most famous fossils in paleontology is a Xiphactinus specimen found with a nearly complete 1.8-meter fish preserved inside its stomach. The prey was so large it likely caused fatal internal injuries after being swallowed whole. The predator died from its last meal. Dacosaurus. Dacosaurus lived around 157 to 137 million years ago and occupied the seas of what is now Europe and South America. It was a crocodilian, not a reptile from the plesiosaur or mosasaur line, but it had fully adapted to marine life in ways that most crocodilians never did. Its limbs had evolved into paddle-like flippers. Its tail had developed a fish-like fin. It was a fully aquatic crocodile that had abandoned the lifestyle its relatives still use today. Its skull was short and deep rather than the long, flat shape seen in most crocodilians. Its teeth were large, serrated, and blade-like, designed for cutting through large prey rather than the gripping teeth of typical crocodiles. It was nicknamed Godzilla by the researchers who first described it in 2005. Helicoprion. Helicoprion is one of the strangest animals in this entire list. It was a shark-like fish that lived from around 290 to 250 million years ago, predating the dinosaurs entirely and surviving into the early Triassic. Its teeth did not fall out and replace themselves the way modern shark teeth do. Instead, they accumulated in a spiral whirl that rotated back into the jaw as new teeth grew at the front. This created a circular buzzsaw of teeth housed in the lower jaw. It likely fed on soft-bodied prey like squid and cephalopods, using the tooth whirl to slice through them efficiently. It reached lengths of around 3 to 4 meters in most estimates, though some species may have been larger.